2003, directed by Ang Lee. And this is the start of my non-MCU movies, just basically focus on just the Marvel movies, not connected to the MCU at all. Yes, guys, I had reviewed this. If you remember my channel, I did review this back in 2023. Looking back on it though, even though looking at it has made me cringe at certain stuff, but I wasn't really a fan of the video, to be honest. So I tried to do like a retake. This is kind of like my second time reviewing this film, so bear with me. Let's just get through this and let's talk about this film. Everyone's favorite Hulk movie to certain people. Not me, I don't be a fan of it. After being exposed to the dangerous levels of radiation, a scientist, Bruce Banner, transforms into an angry green monster at the slightest hint of conflict. So that's the description of the film. So basically, it centers around Bruce Banner, or his adopted name is Bruce Krensler, who works as a scientist, and he's impressed by these memories, what happened to him as a child with his father and his mother. So it basically shows you the backstory of Bruce Banner. It basically just shows his origin story about David Banner trying to create this radiation gem that's basically part of gamma radiation that's put onto him. But when Bruce is born, it's passed on to him that he's got this gamma radiation inside of him and he's trying to find this cure. That's basically the story. It's basically Bruce's pressed memories, but he couldn't remember what exactly happened after the day when his father came home and after he had an argument with his mother and in the cupboard. You don't see what exactly happens, but it's not until when he comes to the Hulk where he gets exposed by the gamma radiation. It's justified him with his father what exactly happens, and he does remember. That's when it justifies his emotions, and when he gets angry, he comes to the Hulk. Now, some of these ideas about pressed memories, what we're depressed and what we're afraid of, it's kind of an interesting idea, but the way it handled it, it wasn't well executed, and that's the problem. And it all comes down to the writing and Ang Lee's vision for this film. Now, Ang Lee, I respect as a filmmaker. He has made a few films here and there, especially with Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, Brokeback Mountain, Ice Storm, and Life of Pi, which he did win an Oscar for Best Director. So he has made a few movies that are really, really good. It is well made. But the problem with Hulk, he's the wrong choice to make this movie. He doesn't know how to make a big blockbuster movie. He knows about his artsy, backstory, storytelling, which I kind of don't mind in certain movies like this. The problem with it is just the execution of it. It just doesn't work. It doesn't well execute itself. And then the other problem is the characters are one note, especially Bruce Banner or Bruce Krensler, played by Eric Bana. Eric Bana does fine as Bruce. The problem is he's just very one note and very to himself because he doesn't really talk to anyone about how he's feeling, how he's got these pressed memories, especially towards his ex-girlfriend Betty Ross, who's now his... We'll get to that soon enough. And the chemistry is there, kind of, but they're really one note. And Eric Bana does try. There were moments he does try, especially he has a conflict with his father at the climax of the movie where he breaks down about his mother, how he kind of wish he didn't see her again and forgot her spell or never know her name. I'll give some credit. The emotions are there. I will applaud that scene here. But the problem is he doesn't tell anyone how he's feeling, and whatever he does turns into Hulk, and especially the anger stuff is kind of laughably bad. It's not his fault. It mostly comes down to the script and the writing of the character. It's just the way he was written. It wasn't well executed or some kind. Especially when he turns into Hulk, he gets that angry face like he was constipated with that grouchy face, and he goes like... All the other characters are especially one though, especially Betty Ross, played by Jennifer Connelly. But I just don't really care for Betty Ross. I just don't really care for her. She's just very one note, just like Bruce, and there's a breakup between them because Betty has this current nightmare or pressed memory or what exactly happened after her father walked away, had to deal with something which is connected to Bruce's dream that he always has, this current nightmare. But we don't really get enough of it, which I just... There's so much potential, but it just doesn't work. It's just very flat, very one note. And how is it all connected? Especially when Bruce and Betty no longer together, they broke up and just become his co-workers and friends. Even though Betty does care for Bruce in a way, but again, it doesn't elaborate on anything. I wish we could have at least give some context. I'm not expecting the big giant info dumping on us, but could at least maybe explain a few things here and there or why Bruce and Betty are no longer together, because we need something to explain. Context speaks wonders. And we have Betty's father in the film, General Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross, played by Sam Elliott, who is basically the highlight of the film, I would say, for the most part. He is the highlight. He is the most fun to watch. The Hugh McGregor syndrome, as people say. Me people point out say, yeah, he was fine. Little fun fact, Sam Elliott did serve the military once upon a time. He basically served the army. And I'll give some credit, he does have some dialogue, especially when he says this. If you ever go 1,000 yards to my daughter again, I'll lock you up in your natural life. Nick Nolte comes into the film as David Bana, Bruce's father. Nick Nolte, I do like. He's just Nick Nolte, does his Nick Nolte stuff. You do get his own personal point of view while he's about to kill Bruce in the scene where he's about to kill him with a knife, but he accidentally killed his wife by accident and he realized what he's done is wrong. And of course, he has Bruce's DNA or his example of him, and he wants that generation himself because how he turns to the Hulk. He wants that power. He's hungry power. He wants that same power as him. And of course, he gets exposed by the gamma radiation. I'll give him credit. The scene when he does get exposed, and he becomes Exorbitant Man at the end of the climax of the movie. Yeah, it was fine, I guess. Another character we have in the film, George Lucas, as Glenn Talbot, who works for Betty's father in the military, and then he becomes somewhat working with him. He doesn't wear the iconic uniform. And I'm guessing the comics that he's somewhat trying to be married or somewhat engaged to Betty Ross, even though it doesn't really explore that, even though it does have some feelings towards her in a way. It doesn't really explore that. The problem is that Glenn Talbot is a stupid character. Now, it's not George Lucas's fault. George Lucas does fine, I guess. He does okay. I mean, the moment he confronts Bruce and Bruce turns into Hulk, he nearly got himself killed in a way. It's just so dumb. Bruce just kicks him off with his foot, and then he just falls to the other guard and basically nearly killed him. And of course, when you're at the desert base where Bruce is kept, Talbot's trying to zap him with a taser and he's trying to get a piece of him or get a piece of the sample of his DNA. Dude, are you that stupid? Bruce nearly kills you, yet you want a sample of him? You're an idiot, sir. You are, excuse the language, guys, you are a fucking idiot. A bigger idiot he is if he's trying to get a sample of him and he's trying to use a bazooka or some missile to kill the Hulk. And basically, when the moment he shoots him, it bounces back and it just hits the wall. I'm not gonna lie, that was literally funny. Another thing is that the end in this movie is slow in pacing and it's trying to be like a comic book come to life, which doesn't justify anything. Now, I get Eileen's intention for it. It's meant to be like a comic book brought to life. And now, if it's done well in the sense, if it's done well maybe once or twice or maybe 3 times, that would be fine. Do it more than 3 times, it just becomes exaggerated and very annoying. It does that panels, especially with when the guards open the prison doors, we see David Banner looking up. You guys just see his eyelids like this on top of the screen for 10 seconds. Not gonna lie, that drags on a little bit. There's certain stuff that's going on. I thought, okay, Eileen, what are we focused on here? Are we focused on certain shots? Don't do it all the time. Just do it in a way it's serviceable. Don't just go one scene the other, one scene the other, one scene the other. It comes a drag. As far as the action scenes go, if there is action, it's fine. Because as a kid, I was 9 years old when I saw this. I just there for the Hulk scenes. When the Hulk scene does happen, it's entertaining, I will say, especially the dog fight scenes, which Hulk fighting the dogs, Bruce's father's dogs, trying to kill Betty, and Bruce trying to protect her and fight the dog. Especially when Hulk picks one dog up and punch it in the nutsack. I kid you not. There's 3 times, I counted 3 times, where there's total hitting the nuts 3 times. I counted 3 times. Count this scene yourself. Look at the scenes right here. Not gonna lie, that I counted 3 times. I literally laugh every time Hulk gets hit in the nuts or when Hulk punches the dog in the nuts. As far as when Bruce Banner turns into the Hulk, the first thing we do see him is in the laboratory. It's all dark, you can't see what's going on. And the moment that he turns into the Hulk, I will admit, I like the creative atmosphere where he does transform the Hulk. It's in the night, you don't see it. It kind of gets out of Bruce's head, and we all, as an audience, kind of going, what the heck is going on? I do like when you do see the Hulk smashing things, smashing the tanks and breaking stuff. Especially he throws the tank like 50 miles an hour and he just spins and it spins like 5 miles just right behind him. Especially the helicopter fight chase scenes where the Hulk just runs around the desert and gets chased by General Ross and his military troops and the helicopters and missiles. It was entertaining, I'll give some credit. And Danny Elfman's score was iconic. Speaking of, Danny Elfman's score is good. I will say it's pretty decent. I'll give it some credit for sure. Especially when it just, Hulk leaps, especially jumps through the desert and the choir singing. It was just, especially the opening main title, especially this theme right here. Listen to this. That song, so catchy, just uplifting. As far as the climax of the movie, we do get a chance to see Bruce and David fighting when David becomes Absorbent Man. The climax of the movie was alright, I guess. But it's just overall movie, it's just, the climax of the film is alright when Hulk fights his father and he absorbs his power. And this scene come up is kind of laughably bad.
You think you can live with it? Take it! Take it all!
Oh yeah, I never got a chance to talk about the Hulk design. The Hulk design is alright, I guess. The problem is, the CGI, I know it's come out 2003, the CGI is going to look outdated. There's a couple of shots, doesn't look too bad, but there were times it does look noticeable, and the Hulk size is a little bit weird, especially how big he is. He left out Betty at the cabin in the woods, basically in reference to King Kong. I don't know if Peter Jackson took influence of that scene where Hulk picks up Betty in the cabin in the woods and he puts her on the top of the car. And the problem with the Hulk design, it's not his looks, it looks fine, but it's just the face, it looks kind of weird. There are times it does look at Bana, but it doesn't look like Bana in a way. It doesn't look convincing in a way. It just looks, could be anyone who plays him. Compared to the Hulk from the MCU, it looks like Mark Ruffalo. And even last year's Captain America Brave New World, that looks like Harrison Ford as the Red Hulk. The CGI does look weird, and a long time ago, someone mentioned it, the Hulk looks like Play-Doh, which now, kind of looking at it, is just kind of, yeah, I won't look at it the same way again. The tone of the movie, I just don't know, this film looks depressing. Maybe we'll complain that The Dark Knight Rises is all doom and gloom. I beg to differ. This film takes itself way too seriously. Just like Man of Steel, it just takes itself too seriously. Not maybe one or two, it does have some funny moments, but they are few far between. It takes itself too seriously. I know a lot of people complain about the MCU Hulk, how the Hulk is too goofy looking, or it's just too funny comedic tone for the Hulk. Being funny doesn't mean bad. No, I get the Hulk's character is meant to be a tortured soul, but I wish they could have a little humor to it. For example, being the first Avengers movie when Captain America said this.
And Hulk. Smash.
As far as Ang Lee's Hulk goes, it's a waste of potential. There are some good ideas going for it. The execution and overall justifying stuff just doesn't work. I appreciate the time what Ang Lee's trying to go for. This is overall a waste of time. If people out there do like it, great. Good for you. But I just don't care for this movie. It's a waste of time and a waste of potential. I'm going to give Ang Lee's Hulk a C-. Guys, comment down below and tell me, have you seen Ang Lee's Hulk? Do you love it? Do you like it? Do you think it's alright? Or do you actually hate it? Whatever the case is, comment down below civilly, please. Stay tuned, guys. I will do more reviews like this. And of course, I will review certain movies that's coming out this year. So keep an eye out for that. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you're new to this channel, hit that subscribe button. Hit that icon bell for more features like this. If you like this video, hit that like button as well while you're at it. Until next time, see ya!